So, have you ever felt like you're doing everything right with your diet? You know, you've gone organic, you cut out all the junk, you're meal prepping like an absolute champion, but you just feel worse? It is so frustrating. And in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly why that healthy diet might be making you feel sick, and most importantly, how to fix it. All right, let's get right into it. So, let's talk about someone we'll call Sarah. I mean, her cart was filled with all the clean products. Her Instagram was a highlight reel of perfect smoothie bowls. But for all that effort, she was just left with bloating, brain fog, and that stubborn weight that just wouldn't budge. If any of that sounds even a little familiar, you are definitely not alone. Her story really gets to the heart of this huge blind spot in modern nutrition. So what is going on here? I mean, how can doing everything right feel so, well, wrong? The answer, it turns out, isn't about calories, and it's not about one single bad food. It's about this hidden force that, believe it or not, a lot of so-called healthy diets accidentally trigger. And that hidden force? It's chronic inflammation. Now, this isn't the kind of obvious swelling you get when you sprain your ankle. No, this is something way quieter, way more subtle, and it's almost always the root cause of that poisoned feeling. Yeah, and it's really important we get this distinction right. We're not talking about your body's helpful short-term response to, say, a paper cut. That's acute inflammation, and it's good. This is different. This is like a low-level systemic fire that just never goes out. It's like your immune system is stuck in the on position 24/7, and it's just quietly doing damage to your body day in and day out. And these are its calling cards. I mean, take a look. Does any of this sound familiar? That persistent fatigue that coffee just can't touch? The brain fog? Stubborn weight? All those weird aches and pains? See, this isn't about a single diagnosis. It's a collection of these vague, super frustrating symptoms that, honestly, doctors can struggle to pin down. But they almost always point back to that same underlying inflammatory fire. Okay, so if inflammation is the big problem, then what's causing it? Well, this is where it gets really interesting and, honestly, a bit shocking for a lot of people. The cause is often the very foods we've been told are good for us. It's time to unmask these dietary saboteurs. I mean, just look at this. You've got your organic granola, a plant-based protein bar, some of those healthy plant-based nuggets, a green juice. It looks like the picture of perfect health, doesn't it? But so often, these foods are hiding a major pro-inflammatory secret right behind that shiny marketing halo. And that secret? It's all in the processing. The term we're looking for is ultra-processed foods. And here's the most crucial point. It doesn't matter if it's organic or vegan or gluten-free. What matters is that it's an industrial formulation. Think about it. These are foods made from substances that are extracted from other foods. We're talking protein isolates, emulsifiers, weird syrups, things our bodies just don't really recognize as actual food. And this visual just says it all, doesn't it? On the left, you've got that clean, plant-based protein bar. And on the right, that's what it's actually made of. A collection of powders, syrups, and stuff that looks like it belongs in a lab. Ask yourself this: could you make that in your kitchen? If the answer is no, then it's probably ultra-processed. And you can bet it's contributing to inflammation, no matter what the pretty packaging claims. But hold on, it's not just about what you eat. It's also about how you cook it. This is a huge one. So here we have two identical, perfectly healthy pieces of salmon. One is grilled until it's got that nice char. The other is gently poached. Now, which one of these do you think is actually driving up inflammation in your body? The answer is probably going to surprise you. Okay, so the culprit is the grilled one. And the reason has to do with something called advanced glycation end products, or just AGEs. These are nasty little inflammatory compounds that get created when you use high-heat, dry cooking methods. You know that delicious browning on a steak or that tasty char on grilled veggies? That's literally the visual sign of AGEs forming, and they directly trigger inflammation in your body. So let's just break this down really simply. The methods on the left side here, grilling, frying, broiling, high-heat roasting, they create a ton of AGEs. But the methods on the right, gentle, moist cooking like steaming, poaching, or stewing, they create very few. It's mind-blowing, right? The exact same healthy food can have a totally different inflammatory impact just based on how you decide to cook it. Okay, so enough doom and gloom. We've identified the villains. So now, how do we fight back? Well, the battleground is inside you. It's in your gut. let's talk about how to arm your body's most powerful secret weapons. I absolutely love this metaphor. The best way to think about your gut microbiome is like an internal garden. All those ultra-processed foods and the high-heat cooking, that's like spraying weed killer everywhere, creating a dry, barren wasteland. But the right foods, they're like the best fertilizer and seeds you could imagine, helping you cultivate a lush, thriving, anti-inflammatory ecosystem. So what's the best food for that garden? In a word, fiber. And not just any fiber, but fiber from a huge variety of plants. It's not just about quantity, it's all about diversity. The challenge is to aim for over 30 different types of plants a week. We're talking beans, lentils, chickpeas, oats, quinoa, even things like cooked and cooled potatoes, which create something called resistant starch. This variety feeds all the different kinds of good bacteria that actively fight inflammation for you. And the other secret weapon? It's fermented foods. Think kimchi, sauerkraut, real yogurt, kombucha. Now, these are special. They don't just feed your good bacteria, they actually introduce brand new beneficial strains into your gut. It's literally like planting new healthy seeds directly into your garden. And listen, this is not just some nice idea. The science here is incredibly strong. There was a landmark study from Stanford that found that people who simply added fermented foods to their diet saw a significant drop in, get this, 19 different markers of inflammation. That's huge. This is honestly one of the most powerful evidence-based tools we have in our arsenal. All right, so let's recap. We know the problem is inflammation, which is being fueled by ultra-processed foods and high-heat cooking. And we know the solution is all about nourishing our gut with tons of fiber from different plants and adding in fermented foods. So now, let's put it all together into a simple, and this is key, sustainable plan. You know, the best blueprint we have for this is what's known as the Mediterranean pattern of eating. And please notice, I said pattern, not diet. The goal here is not some strict, miserable, restrictive diet. It's a flexible, really enjoyable way of eating that's built around whole, delicious foods. And just to be super clear, this isn't about you having to eat Greek or Italian food every day. Not at all. It's about adopting the principles that make this way of eating so powerfully anti-inflammatory. You can apply these principles to literally any cuisine you love. It all comes down to this. Focus on whole foods, eat lots and lots of different plants, use healthy fats, and try to favor those gentler cooking methods we talked about. Look, I know this can feel like a lot, but it doesn't have to be overwhelming. You can start today with tiny, ridiculously simple steps. Seriously. This week, just swap one of your usual ultra-processed snacks for a piece of fruit or a handful of nuts. When you go shopping, just add one new type of vegetable to your cart. Or just try a single spoonful of sauerkraut or kimchi as a side dish. It's these small changes, when you do them consistently, that add up to massive results. So that really brings us to the final and most important question, and it's a question for you. This isn't about being perfect overnight. It's just about making a little progress. So after hearing all this, what's the one small, simple change you can make, starting today, to begin that journey from feeling poisoned by your diet to feeling truly, deeply nourished?